and trafficking humans across the world in order to use them as a product that will produce money for their bank accounts. And the plan currently is for 82 modular homes. The rumours are saying 340 will eventually go out there. But the work that has happened over the past week in the clearing of the land, they've already cleared a whole load of acres, and now they need to do that. We're meant to awaken our hearts and come together and unite.
So, a man called Mr. Hamid Butt, his business associates Mrs. Isabella Luskos and Sarabhat Singh became the new owners of historic building Hearns Hotel. Hearns Hotel has 25 bedrooms. It is likely to be fitted with 2 sets of bunk beds, meaning 4 males per room, bringing the total to 100 males bypass applicants. The most up-to-date figures available show the current payment to a property owner like Mr. Butt, landlord, is €550 per head per applicant per week. If Mr. Butt housed the estimated 100 applicants, he would receive €55,000 per week, €220,000 per month, or 2.6 million a year, just from Hearns Hotel alone, both buildings. It also poses serious questions for the wider area, where it is located, for example, a busy street for the town's nightlife. Young people move between all bars through the weekend. How will this be policed? As we have seen in other towns where IPAS applicants have been housed in large numbers, it has brought a lot of trouble and antisocial behaviour. I would point to Killarney and Ballina for an example. Just like the Hayward Road development, we have seen no engagement with the community or local businesses from the council or its elected representatives, who will only state that they are not involved in the process, that it is a decision solely made by government, the Department of Children, Equity, Disability, Integration and Youth. Surely the tax-paying public of Clonmel and its businesses have a right to know and to say who it is that we all share our local community with. In the interest of safety, if the council cannot guarantee this, then I suggest they should be disbanded as a public body.
Does they ignore all this?
They were, every single one of them were invited. They were sent emails to work in the background in that way as well. We're getting information on the companies, exposing them, showing them for the greedy individuals that they are. Those things need to be supported. If you're not somebody that shares on social media, you need to start sharing. If you're not somebody that speaks up at your kitchen table because you're afraid, you need to start speaking up. Like this week we got information from a whistleblower that CISC and the OPW and the Garda Síochána are all working together. They were basically told that no matter what the cost of this, if it goes over budget, taxpayers' money will pay that. They've been given a blank cheque. Not only that, the Gardaí were told to place more intimidation on us and to come after us more than normal. Like one man came up and he was just chatting to a protester in a van, and a week later he got a fine for €60 for tax being out, which is fair enough. That's a Garda job. But on the other hand, they're not stopping all the health and safety things that are happening on the site. And the OPW have said, look lads, it's alright, you go about it, Gardaí, you do that. And the reason why the Gardaí are intimidating us and bringing us into cells and different places like that is to blacken our names and to make the town go against us. We can't allow that manipulation to continue. The next lads that are going to be up speaking are going to talk about their experiences with the Gardaí over the past few weeks. Sadly, we cannot rely on them. Yes, when they're talking to us, they're like, it's all good, you know, we think what you're doing is great. The first week they said, you're okay where you are, you've every right to camp there and protest. Within 3 weeks down, they're coming in, they're not talking to us, and they're ripping up the house. You know?
Should be held accountable.
All of them need to be held accountable, but the only ones that can hold them accountable are us as the people.
Exactly.
Yes, that is it. So Mikey is going to come up and he's going to tell you his story, and then Jamie will also tell you his story in the contrast between how the Gardaí handles these situations.
I don't want to come on public speaking at all. Never done this first time. I am a father of 3 kids, and I have a 6-year-old and I have a 5-year-old, 2 girls, and I have a 15-year-old girl that's in the house, she don't go out, which I'm glad for that, and that's being honest with you, what's going on around the place. But I've been around the block a few times myself, and I know what's happening in Clonmel, and it's a shambles. Like, all the crime and this and that. I never heard of someone getting sexually assaulted in Ireland in my life growing up. We had the streets to play with. As kids, we were playing. Your keys were in your front doors. You could go into your neighbour's house. You'd get your dinner there, your mother knew where you were. You were grand, you were fed, you were looked after. Now you're watching your kids and they're suffering and they're dying and all over. No one cares. No one even knows what happened to that girl in Dublin. I sat on a wall with a microphone, and all I turned around and said when the trucks were coming out was your trailer. And then all of a sudden, about 12 girls come running towards me, bust me to the ground, bust my hand. When I was going down in the car, handcuffed, get slammed on the brakes and bust my head off the paddy wagon. So there's nothing about that. Black and tans all the way. Right? I take my charges. When it comes to my country, I'll do what is necessary for my kids and my daughter. Listen, Michael Collins was 33 years of age, the same age as I am when this country came and he'd run it and he'd done it. And what did he do for? For all them their constitutional rights and trample all over it. Yeah, well this is your kids, lads, and I'm doing it for your kids, your kids, and your kids. But I tell you what, when my family comes first, and Ireland is my family, and you know what? People say what they want. It's all good people coming here, but we need people to come and support us everywhere. We need to be friends, you need to be talking to each other, and everyone should be talking. And don't be afraid to talk. Do you know what I mean? You think I care, I walk down the street, you can put me to the palace, you can strip me down, but you can't close my mouth. Simple as that. And I'm telling you, all you must be sick of it. You're afraid to talk up. About what? What can you do? Give me jail. Give me the jail. If that's what it takes for this country to be right, I'll do the jail. Let's go. Good luck now, lads. Right, all right?
Well lads, thanks very much for coming on this good Thursday evening that we have. I'm just going to state a few facts, lads, of an incident that happened last week actually inside the Sisk plantation site on the Havel Road, where my stepdaughter there and another individual were approached by a Sisk worker, not by a security guard, by a Sisk worker that produced a knife to them. Now it was confirmed by the security firm that this person was Russian. He didn't speak any English. So if he didn't speak any English, how did he sit in an introduction course to work on the building site if he know Irish? That's the first thing. The second thing is, there's a lot of lies being spread around in the public media saying it was the security firm that done it. It wasn't. It was a worker belonging to Sisk. They said he was removed off the site. No one could tell whether he was or not. They said it was reported to the guards. It wasn't reported to the guards, because when we reported it to the guards, they didn't have a clue what we were on about either. So that's one point of it. If all these people enter this town, we're going to have a lot more of this going on, and we will not be able to stop it when it's too late. So it's the people of Clonmel have to come out, and they have to stand their ground and put a stop to this, because the government ain't going to stop it. The guard, you can't stop it. So it's the people of Clonmel that we need to come out to stop this and stop it from happening to anybody else's kids. Not just my own, but all of yours, as Mikey said by the wall. So lads, it's up to yourselves. You come stand with us, no bother, we'll do our best to stop it. If you don't stand with us, well then we're at nothing. These people are going to come into the town, they're going to take over the town, they're going to hurt their kids.
Get them out.
Do you mean? Out is what we want, not in. We have our own homeless crisis here in Ireland as well, lads, that our own Irish people need to be looked after. When this happens, it's all these people are being put into these lovely modular homes, and you have thousands on the streets in Dublin, our own people in doorways, freezing to death, dying. Look, that's the end of what I have to say now. So look, thanks very much.
flag, doors over there. I want to explain something to you that's very important for one of the reasons that I'm here tonight. When I grew up in Donegal, I was adopted by a lovely white family. Well, they weren't so lovely, but the town was great. And in Donegal in those days, there was only me. I was the only black kid in the entire country. I never saw another black person until I was 12. But what I was surrounded with was Irish people, country people, simple, good people. And I learned very, very early on how important it was to be accepted, to be made to feel part of the community. And I'm eternally grateful for that, because I remember I said to my mother one time, I said, "Mammy, how come you never told me anything about Africa?" And she said, "What the fuck would I know about Africa?" Now, to be fair to her, and I'm so glad she didn't, because, you know, people say, racist people look at me and they say, "But you're brown, shouldn't you be playing Bob Marley records? Shouldn't you be into hip-hop?" And the truth is that the only culture that was available to me as a child was Irish culture. And Jesus, did I hang on, did I grab onto it and hang on to it. I had 37 medals for Irish dancing by the time I was 11, right? So the first music that I fell in love with was Irish music. And I learned very early on that being Irish and being proud of being Irish was about gratitude. It was about gratitude for good people who took me in and treated me well. And now as I watch the whole thing that's unfolding, and you know, the word replacement, it's a big word, but it seems to me that this is what we're facing here in Ireland. This plan to bring in thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And you know, there's the two definitions need to be made here. We've always needed people to come here and work in the health system. We've always needed people to come and do the jobs which we can't do or we don't have enough people to do. But there is now the poison of unvetted immigration. And we have a government who tells us there is no unvetted immigration. It doesn't exist. Well, in truth, if you look at the front of the paper today, they admit that there is. And the problem is, for the people who've come here and obey the law, and who look after their children, who pay their taxes, and who want to live in peace, those people are now being thrown under the bus by the government, who refuse to make a definition between legitimate immigration and illegitimate immigration. So, as I watch TikTok, as I watch social media, and you know, the thing I would have to say at this point is governments lie. They lie all the time. And when they control the narrative, they get away with those lies. The media do exactly the same thing. And if you look at the media today, you have to ask, there's two questions that I would like to hear and ask of the media. The first one is, where's that little girl that got stabbed? Why is nobody asking about her? That girl, as far as I know, died that night. And the parents were moved to a house in Skerries, given a huge amount of money, and signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. They have kept a lid on this, and not a journalist in this country will ask that question. And the second question is, why are they all men? Where are the women and children? You all know that if a man goes to war, he goes alone. But if a man leaves his wife and children behind him, what kind of man is that? And we know now that this bullshit idea that they've got all these fancy names for these people. They call them international protected applicants. They call them refugees. They have all these names, but the truth is these people are guests of the government.
And they keep them out in the papers.
Oh, that's their job.
But if you're Irish, my name was plastered.
Of course.
For slanderous.
100%.
When anywhere I go, what, you see my name and say, oh, that's hidden there.
And that's what they've done for years and years and years. And the funny thing is, you know, the very word racist, the very word far right, to everybody in this room, I would say this: name calling means nothing. If you want to live in your community and feel safe, and you want your daughters to be able to go on the street, and you want to be able to walk your dog late at night, or your girlfriend, your sister to go for a jog, then that doesn't make you racist. That just makes you a concerned citizen, a person whose generations, by the way, your grandfathers and your great-grandfathers, they lived and died on spuds and cabbage. They were lucky if they had a bit of bacon. And why did they do that? Because they thought they were leaving you an inheritance. They were leaving you something of value. And what they've left you is now being squandered by these guys in suits who call themselves a government. There is a solution to this, and I'm going to get to that at the end, because it is very difficult sometimes when people want to focus on the problem, but they don't want to talk about the solution, or they don't come up with a solution. listening to the first gentleman there talk about this man, did you say his man is Mr. Bum?
Mr. Butt.
Butt, well, Butt's another name for ours. So yeah, Mr. Butt. This man is just a symptom of the problem. You know this snake, what they call Medusa? Honestly, I'm telling you all here in this room, the only solution is to cut the head off this snake. That's the only thing that can work. That's the only thing that can work. When I say snake, I will name the snakes. I call him Nosferatu because he reminds me of that vampire, Micheál Martin. That man has no care for the Irish people. And when you look at the list of, we have a minister for children who has no children. We have a health minister who looks 2 stops short of a heart attack. This is how they rub it in our faces. These are supposed to be governing. You take the word government and take the T off the end. What does it say? Govern men. Well, I'll get on to that in a minute. Now here's the thing, I pulled out that flag. You can have a European flag. You can have an LGBT flag. But they want you to be embarrassed and ashamed of that flag, and I'll say, fuck you. This is Ireland. This is not Europe. As I drove down here this evening,
On site, an accident did happen. This accident brought in an ambulance helicopter onto the land, as well as 3 other ambulances. It's not being spoken about, it's not being said. Those workers who are products at the end of the day, and they don't care what kind of a character that product is, but that worker, whoever it was, might have been just brought over and not know, because a lot of them don't know what they're walking into until they arrive. Because there's so much corruption and there's so much deception all around this in order for them to get what they want. But that worker was seriously injured because there's no way that a helicopter would show up.
Then that site should be closed down straight away.
That site should have been closed down. And
There was an accident up there, as you know, 3 ambulances and an air ambulance off the site. I just like to point out a woman fell down in the showgrounds, had to wait 4 hours for an ambulance. The ambulance that arrived at site were there within minutes of the accident. Does that not seem odd? The other thing I say is, we actually have a solicitor on site now. She contacted us today. She's from Westmeath. She has stopped one of these sites going ahead for the last 15 months through injunctions, using the local residents. It's €100 to put in an injunction. Any resident in the area can do it. It has been stopped for the last 15 months because no judge wants to touch it. And that's the way you stop this. Thanks.
Hi, I'm the lady from Rossgrave, and I'm speaking to Jurna outside the door with, and didn't realise, you know. But yeah, we had a 6-hour, I think it was, we were told at 4 o'clock on the Thursday evening of the 11th of January that the only hotel, functioning hotel in our town, was closing down. We started our protest on the 11th of January. On the 15th of January, I myself am a nurse, and I was diagnosed with cancer this time last year, lost a lung, and I went through -7, and we had the privilege of meeting the stopcaps who bet the absolute crap out of us on the 15th of January outside the Racket Hall Hotel. We were displayed on public media, we were displayed on RTE, Virtual Media News, any government building programmes as we were the thugs and we were the rights, and we've been called scumbags. We've been called Nazis. I lost my hair through chemotherapy. I was told I shaved my head off for a cause. Now, believe me, I would actually happily leave my hair on my legs hairy for the cause if that would actually have worked the cause. But I was, like, as I said, I was diagnosed. We fought -7 degrees temperatures. We had 2 storms. We built our little huts and whatever, and you know, we fought hard to try and stop from what was coming into Rossgrave, and we were told it was only families and children. That's not the truth. It's, at the moment, unvetted men are coming in the darkness of the night. They're coming in taxis. They're coming in cars. don't know what they're coming in. Every single house in Roscrea has been bought and bought out to these people by Paul Folkley and Seamus Brown, 2 people in Roscrea. We had the mother and baby home in Roscrea, Sean Ross. Don't know if you ever seen the film Philomena, where we had a beautiful mother and baby's home where children were lost. We can't even go visit their graves anymore. We can't even go visit the mother and baby graves anymore because there's security fences all around Sean Ross. Yeah, it's unreal. Roscrea is not Roscrea anymore. It's not a place like, we're not far right. We've been called right. We're not far right. We have been right so far in what we were saying. But, as Gerda said, you have people here and they're saying, oh God, no, yeah, no, you're this and you're that. No, we're not. I don't care what you call me. You can call me a racist. You can call me anything you want. But the only thing that I shipped my daughter off to Australia a week and a half ago because she knew nothing that was in the town for her. She worked in the baking factory in Roscrea. That girl got out of bed every morning at 4:30 in the morning and said to me, Mammy, if I don't kill someone today, if I don't kill one of them fuckers today, she said, you're all right. I'm like, you're right. She came home.
Was that the people of the town left all the work to the handful of mad bastards to do the work, right? Exactly, and which is what we are, and we're fucking proud of it, right? Right? Not bothered us, and we'll keep doing it, right? But the problem is, those very same people who want the mad bastards to fight their battles for them also call those people every name under the sun behind their backs. Racists, scum, drug addicts, don't work, on dole, whatever. But I'm going to tell you now, if all of you in this room don't get behind the small group of mad bastards up at that site, it will die. It'll die, I'll tell you what. It'll die because the people there have limited mental resources, limited physical resources. They have families and needs. They have to look after their own lives too. So, yeah, a lot of that's work as well.
Yeah.
Well,
We do work. A lot of us are working and going to work and coming from work and dealing with your family and dealing with everything else.
yeah. So I know a lot of people say the reason for not going up there is that you have jobs, you have this, you have that and everything else. I'm going to tell you what happened in Urlingford. The family who had the building in Urlingford, they're known as the cabinets coaches. They're the perpetrators of the crime, as I call it, the ones doing it. What they done is they rang around people's businesses and employers and told them to lean on their employees not to come to the protest. When that happened, some people rolled back. I'm going to tell you now, if you do that, if your employers are called, do not fucking abandon your own people, because ye are the traitors then. If you're in this room now and you're willing to back down from your employer threatening you, you're the traitor. Do not back down. Do not back down.
Thank you very much.
And another thing I want to say is the election cycle is over now. I ran for election in North Kenny in my area. Didn't succeed, right? But that's neither here nor there. The point we want to make now is that now that the election cycle is over, they're not going to be firing out chocolate chip cookies to the people to vacate them. In Urlingford, they gave them €500,000 for the town hall, right at the same time that they were trying to kill my protest or our protest. 500,000 went in, the town hall went ahead, the whole town backed off. Very obvious what happened. They're not going to do that from now for the next while. But when the general election comes up, they will do it. So don't drag your fucking heels into the general election, because the ones that are bendable and breakable by these nations, they will accept this and disappear. You need hot and heavy action up there for the next few weeks. Don't use today as just something to come down and talk shite, to be honest. From today, take the energy in the room, get to the site when you can. There's enough people here to do a rotation to cover the site, 10 people a day, and give everyone the rest 6 days of their week back. They're not going to do it, lads, 24/7 for the next few months. I managed about 3 weeks, completely broke me, on my own. So you need to back these people or they're gone, and then your town is gone. That's what I said.
How are you, lads? I'm Deb, and for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm a little crazy one from Cork. Can I just ask though, can we all stop saying, every single person says, I'm not a racist. We're not fucking racist. It's not racism to actually say out the simple facts, right, at the front of what are happening.
the people that are committing them, and how those rates have gone up. I don't care, I'm not recording, you can't say about it. They're after banning me. They banned me on TikTok a minute ago just for recording this. So I'm going to say it loud and proud when I say the words, and I'm not going to like filter them and whatever. Rape has gone up, child abduction has gone up, sexual assault has gone up. What else has gone up? Fucking immigration, right? That doesn't make us racist, that makes us factual. Okay? And anybody wants to call us names, how in the name of God, right? They're trying to turn every faction of the country against each other, right? They're trying to call me a bigot. They're trying to call me a bigot, right? One of my best friends is a lesbian, right? And I was at her wedding 2 weeks ago when she married another woman, and I actually tied the ribbons around their hand. And they're skip laughing going, watching my TikToks at the thing going, you're no bigot. And I was like, I know, yeah. Like, it's just ridiculous the names that they're calling us, but they'll say anything at all to suit their own agenda. They twist and turn. That's why we're in wartime measures. That's why we're in this emergency constitution, because they can put anything in underneath it. The really important point I want to get across here, lads, right, is the 1st of July. If everyone can please be at Phoenix Park with your bun rocks, if you have them. If you have one. I go absolutely nowhere with it, right? I have challenged. I'm not part of the One Rock crew, but I just kind of help them with it. So, I'm not part of the crew. Like, I don't watch you for, but I have no affiliation with anyone whatsoever. But I know that Sarah will have a load of them on the 1st of July to get them, so they're tell her to get off them. They're 15 if you order them because they got to post them. But they've spent like 50 grand on these lads, so I tell her it's nothing to go back into the situation. Do you know what I mean? If we can all be there, if we can all hold them up, bring your families, let's make it a beautiful day. Let's show what we're really about. You know, we're not racist people. Let's please stop saying that we're racist.
No, we're Irish and we're proud of our
We're Irish and we're proud. Why would the whole world be proud of where they're from unless you're fucking Irish? What's that about?
All the Americans want to be Irish.
Everyone wants to be Irish. Yeah, it's not terrorism.
This is an era, yeah? This is an era. It belongs to us and it doesn't belong to these refugees. It's an invasion now in every single town and village in the country. And it's been facilitated by the government, or it's supposed to look after us, and even the military facilitate it now. They're supposed to be looking after us, and they're looking after all them. You want to say talk about being racist, this and that, yeah? Like, the first slaves that the British got over in America, the first few batches were Irish, not black, by the way, anyway. And we've always been impressed. We've always been impressed. We're being impressed right now, so we are. The only way to do it, to fix things now, is to leave the EU. We're not European, we're Irish. And yeah, this is ERA. We're not European. We need to bring this to the TD's doors. They're bringing their shit to our doors, yeah? We need to bring this to their doors. That's it. Chuck it on that.
So, what's going on in Ireland here now is completely fucking different to what we done when we went to London. We got nothing. Thank you very much.